Alright, and we're hot. What's going on, y'all? This is going to be an interesting one. So, I have two modern bats going up against, well, my old Demarini. So, this is my old Demarini. I had it right the first time. Ultimate Weapon. This is I think a 33-28 or a 34-28. I don't remember. I know it's 28 ounces. Outside of that, I couldn't tell you. This is interesting. This is going to be definitely a lot of fun. It is very broken in. If y'all can't tell, I mean, very broken in. This is, I think, the 2008 model. Not positive. Somebody can tell me otherwise, please do so. It is USSA ASA stamped. It's one of the oldest dual stamps in softball to my knowledge. Again, if I'm wrong, tell me otherwise. Sad thing is, I can't use this in competition anymore. This U-Trip stamp here, if the camera focuses, yeah, this stamp right here is not the current stamp, which means I can't use this in competition anymore. I can still use it for BP and like that, but, you know, what have you there. It's a 12-inch barrel. It's a 12-inch barrel. Like I said, 28 ounces. I'm going to be dealing with mosquitoes again. It is a little humid out here. And it did just rain earlier today, so. This is going to be interesting. New versus old comparison. How do you think this is going to go? I personally, like, how far have we come, realistically? I mean, this is a one-piece, all alloy. And it's going to be squaring off against my Miken Freak KP23, 12-inch barrel, half-ounce end load, 34-26. This is actually an inch longer. If you lay them side by side, it is an inch longer. You know, it's an inch longer. I don't know what to tell you. I'm gonna end up adjusting the daylights out of this camera. So it's gonna go up against the KP23, which at this point now has about 115 roughly swings on it. But it's also gonna go up against this guy, my Easton Fire Flex3. This is 34-26, same as the KP. This is balanced, where the KP is end loaded. And the only reason I have the KP out here, because other than to get some swings in with it anyway, the only reason I have the KP out here is because alloy bats tend to be a little more end loaded anyway. Or at least they were in baseball. I don't know if it's still the same in softball, even though you can't really find an alloy bat that much anymore. 13.25-inch barrel, so it's actually a little bit longer barrel. Again, 34 inches makes it an inch longer than the Demarini, or at least I think. Again, I don't remember. I think this is a 33-28, but I don't remember the Demarini, that is. So I'm gonna start this off with the Miken, mostly to get a few extra swings in with it, even though I did hit a round already. But I want to go from the Miken to the Demarini first, because I feel like this is going to be most likely the closest comparison, because, like I said, stereotypically you have a slight end load in your alloy bats, and this is a half-ounce end load and the same size barrel. So we'll see what happens there. I'm hitting my same softballs, the worth Super Gold dots, 44 375s. Finally got a new pair of batting gloves. These actually fit better. They're still a little loose, but not terrible. Not nearly as bad as the white spiders. So these are Under Armour's. I think these are the 2019 or 2020 cleanups. I think these are the 2020s. I don't know offhand. But we'll see here. So, like I said, we're going to start with the KP. Then I'm going to go to the Demarini. And then once the Demarini's done, I'm going to go and do the comparison also with the Demarini and the Fire Flex3. This could be interesting. It definitely brings up an interesting question. You know, realistically speaking, how far have we come in technology for softball and baseball for that matter? I mean, I follow the Baseball Bat Bros and their slow pitch channel, the Slow Pitch Bat Bros, and you know, watching those guys, you'd almost think technology has changed almost like computers has in the last, 10-15 years. And to be honest, I can see that in baseball. Softball, I don't know. That's why I'm doing my own test. We'll see what happens. And if you haven't checked out their channel, go check out the Slow Pitch Bat Bros and the Baseball Bat Bros. I mean, they're basically the same guys. But seriously, that channel is hilarious. Those guys are absolutely awesome, and they hit absolute bombs. Also, I mentioned this before. If anybody is in the market for a max load bat or a half-ounce end load bat with a shorter barrel, this is one of those options. The Miken KP23, dude. This thing is nasty. I've been hitting with it in games, and it just hits absolute bullets. You can't stop this bat. For a bat that's, got this small of a barrel, it's a 12-inch barrel. You wouldn't expect it to have a huge sweet spot. It has a massive sweet spot. So here we go. Start the video off with a rollover. Great swing, dumb nuts. That one felt good. I was hitting so well before I turned the video on, so we'll see if that actually keeps going. I mean, this bat's absolute gas. Like, this bat, I mean, seriously. It's funny because I never really thought I'd find a bat that I liked this much fresh out of the wrapper. Even though this isn't fresh out of the wrapper, I mean, we're 100 some odd swings in now. Yeah, probably like I said, like 115, 120 in. This thing is absolutely heat. And it's been heat from day one. This is such a good bat. And, I sound like a broken record, but seriously, if you want half-ounce end load, And again, I am working on some things in my swing, so we'll see how that goes. I mean, this batch is just absolute heat. Sore arm and everything, like this thing is absolute heat. I think we'll just pick that one back up and re-tee it. I mean, and that one was absolutely blasted. So let's adjust the camera slightly. Hopefully that's so, you know, this bat's money. That was solid. That would have been a gapper. Well, maybe. You get somebody in the outfield like the one guy I played against last week or 2 weeks ago. Your gapper turned into an out real quick. So, pros and cons of the change in times from, you know, what I can see just swinging this. Barrels are a little more springy. I don't know. The bets are a little more springy, and I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. It's funny because, you know, these are composite. Most of these are all purely composite now. This, you know, the Miken, the Freak is the Freak KP23 is a two-piece, a true two-piece. So you got barrel, and of course, there's that separation into the handle. Where a lot of bats, you know, back in the day, or I say back in the day, I mean, hell, the day was technically 10 years ago. But, you know, it wasn't that long ago when bats were still solid one-piece, even with, you know, the composite change. And I think it's weird that you don't really find the solid one pieces anymore. But, you know, if you ask me, a good one piece is a good one piece. You know, I think, you know, you got to look at it this way. A one piece bat can give any hitter a certain type of feel, any hitter a certain type of launch or control. It's two-piece bats sometimes just tend to be a little flexy. Not this guy here. I mean, this thing's stiff as a board for a two-piece. But it's, you know, like I say, it's stiff as a board, but it ain't terrible. Hopefully this one goes in the net. If it doesn't, whatever. So that's the Freak. That's the KP23. And like I said, I think this comparison could be interesting. You know, I think this comparison could be really interesting. I think because how many people realistically look at softball now and go, oh, how much has technology really changed? I mean, even, well, probably even the same with baseball. But I don't look into baseball that much anymore. How often, it's like, if you want to compare it to something, you could ask, honestly, it's like golf. You got all these manufacturers coming out with clubs every 6 months to a year. Can you really make that much of a technology change in that short amount of time? You want my opinion? No. Am I right? I don't know. Am I wrong? I don't care. But I think a lot of it needs to be boiled down to how much has technology changed, and if it has changed, why has it changed so much in, say, a 10-year period? I mean, this bat, like I said, I think this is the 2008 model. This thing's only 12 years old. The KP23 I'm hitting is this year's model. My Fire Flex3, that's a 2019 bat, 2018, 2019 bat. I think it's 2018. I don't know. Y'all tell me. I think technology has changed too quickly in certain areas. But we'll see. Next up, Demarini Ultimate Weapon. Single wall, one-piece alloy. 28 ounces. I love this bat. It's funny, this thing's 12 years old. It's been abused to hell in a handbasket, and still hits absolute just rockets. Let's see if it's still got gas in it. Oh yeah. So I rolled over that one a little bit, but it still came off pretty hot. I mean, like I said, for a bat that's 12 years old, you don't really expect it to jump off the barrel, but that was still pretty good. Let's see if I can actually get one and swing like I know what I'm doing here. Oh yeah. So that was absolutely tattooed. I could feel that as soon as I hit it. The problem with this bat is if you don't square it, you feel it in your hands. I mean, like I said, it's a solid one-piece alloy. You will feel it in your hands if you don't square it. Slipped on my swing a little bit there. Doesn't help when it, like I said, it rained, so I mean, this bat is just heat. For 12 years old, for a 12-year-old bat and an all-alloy bat, it's still gas. Technologically speaking, I think, like, the change going from alloy to composite is very interesting, because I feel like while this has a similar sweet spot to the KP, it doesn't quite have as much pop. There's not as much power out of the bat as there is out of the KP, out of this bat as there is out of the KP. Now, that could be a number of reasons. There's well over 150, probably 200 swings on this bat. That, and it's 12 years old, you know? The other thing is it's alloy versus composite. all these things can play in. So I'm going to keep hitting because I'm having way too much fun. I mean, it's hard for me to swing right now because, again, I'm standing, my back foot's in a bit of a mud patch. Like I said, for a 12-year-old bat, this thing's still money. I just wish I could still use this in comp. The thing is, I think the big thing with this bat is, it's probably a good thing that it's not legal for competition use anymore. Because, like I said, while this thing I feel like has a very similar sweet spot to the KP, pretty darn big, it swings way heavy. I mean, it's a 28-ounce bat too versus a 26-ounce bat. But it swings heavy. It's alloy. It's end loaded slightly. You can kind of feel it. It's 12 years old. I mean, like I said, it's got a similar sweet spot. The swing weight is definitely heavier. Power-wise, it's just not there. Which makes sense when you think about it. It's a 12-year-old bat, and it's got more abuse on it than most of my bats combined. I tried to hit that one into the woods. Probably a bad idea. I mean, I already had to fish one out of the woods. But I do really like this bat. I think, you know, I think if I could still use it, I might. But with the just knowing what it's like with the KP, you know, just versus the Kyle Pearson Signature Series, I think I'd much rather have my KP. But I mean, Demarini. Yeah, if Demarini could figure out how to make a composite version of this, I might get one. But until they come up with a composite version, I'm stuck with, you know, a 12-year-old bat that I can't do jack with, short of do what I'm doing right now, which is BP. I slipped on that one. My back foot slipped way out from behind me on that one. Great swing there. I mean, good swing, but I didn't really drive it. I kind of cut myself off. I'm an idiot. I mean, if this ball keeps wanting to pop out of the net, I'm going to just keep hitting it. I can't do that, though. This video would be an hour long if I did that. So this is the last ball for the comparison between the KP and the Ultimate Weapon. I think, like I said, I think if Demarini could come up with like a composite version of this, even if it was a one-piece composite, I think, you know, I think this would be a hot seller if you could find a one-piece composite version of this. It would be hot, I think, personally, but so that's the Ultimate Weapon versus the KP23. What are my thoughts? Well, I have a bunch of them, but I'll save that to the end. This is already 26 minutes in. So let's get these balls out of this net and get to swinging some more. So next up, obviously, like I said, Easton Fire Flex3, 1.25 inch longer barrel, 2 ounces lighter, inch longer overall. 34.26, 33.28 for the Demarini. 12-inch barrel in the Demarini, 13.25 in the Fire Flex3. So, again, Fire Flex3 versus the Ultimate Weapon. And because we're getting a little crazy to the 30-minute mark, I'm literally just going to hit whatever's in the bucket. If it pops out of the net, it pops out of the net. I'm not re-teeing it. Cut that off the end of the bat. It's kind of weird with this bat. I feel like I have to stand way the hell away from the plate or the tee. There we go. The hands through the zone. I mean, that right there that was a rocket. I mean, would that have been a base hit? I don't know. Certainly not against that one guy that I was playing against like last week or 2 weeks ago, but it's definitely got heat to it. I mean, this bat, you're talking about, I'm probably 140 to 150 swings in with this. This thing is absolute gas. This bat hits a ball like I've never thought I could, like I've never thought. I mean, for something that's balanced, for something that's balanced like this, to be as hot as it is, I'm almost surprised it's not illegal. but I'm glad it's not too. Drove that one into the dirt. I mean, that one was absolutely mashed. And again, like, the hard part here is I'm swinging off my heel. I'm swinging kind of off my front leg because my back foot is stuck in mud. Well, not really stuck in mud, but it's in mud. And I'm slipping. So, you know, no excuses. But even then, excuses or not, this thing is just pouring on the steam. Two more balls in the bucket, and then I'll give you my thoughts on this. Of course, the other issue I'm running into, my net's not pinned to the ground because the pins won't stay in the ground. Again, it's wet. So, last ball here. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting how hot that Fire Flex3 is for a balance bat. I mean, I know, well, I don't think, shouldn't say I know. I don't think you can still get the Fire Flex3 through Smash It or Headbanger or even Easton themselves. I don't know, realistically. But I'll tell you what. I think the thing here is the Fire Flex series, it's just heat. I mean, my OG, my Fire Flex OG, my FFOG, the exclusive from Smash It Sports, is absolute gas. It's a monster. This bat, my Fire Flex 3, is an absolute monster. And it's balanced. Find yourself a Fire Flex 4. I know the 4's still out there. If you're looking for a really hot, balanced bat, this, and if you can't find this one, I know you can still get the Fire Flex 4. So here we go again. Ultimate Weapon. It's gonna be interesting because this is, again, 2 ounces heavier, slightly end loaded because alloy, an inch shorter, and an 1.25 inches shorter barrel. Ow. Hit myself in the knee. I would have loved to have seen where that ball would have went on field. So what do I think so far? Basically 6 balls into this rack. So that's 6. That's halfway in. What do I think so far? Again, you could definitely tell the swing weight difference. This is definitely heavier. I mean, not just physically, but, you know, through the zone, this is definitely heavier. As far as pop and sweet spot, I would say still, again, less pop, and maybe honestly a smaller, ow, mosquito. Maybe honestly with this, I think a slightly smaller sweet spot, which is weird because I feel like the sweet spot on the KP is bigger than that of the Fire Flex3, which is nuts when you think that you're talking about an 1.25 inch longer barrel. You'd think the sweet spot would be bigger. I don't know, unless it's just performance off the sweet spot that I'm seeing that's causing me to see more of that pop. But so technologically, I think we've come a hell of a long way. This is still a great bat, the Demarini Ultimate Weapon, in my opinion. Still an absolutely fantastic bat, but with the technology out there now, and as hot and springy as I would say, you know, like things like the KP or the Fire Flex or something like that are, I mean, it's nuts. So I'm gonna hit a couple more with the Ultimate Weapon, and I'm just gonna bounce between the 3 to hit the last few. I would try to take my kneecaps out. So that was the Ultimate Weapon. So this is the KP again. I mean, y'all tell me. Tell me what you see, because I know what I'm seeing. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I know what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a bat that is an absolute monster for being 12 years old. But comparatively speaking, it just doesn't have the pop of the Freak or the Fire Flex3. And I think a lot of that is down to these are composite. That's alloy. I mean, really. When you look at it, it almost feels like there's no difference. Yes, I know I stayed back on that one. But that's kind of the point, you know, is it's like, how do you make a decision when everything you feel contradicts what you might see with your own eyes? You know, one last swing with the Ultimate Weapon here. So, okay, maybe two. Yeah, I don't know. Y'all tell me what you see. I know what I'm seeing. And on that, so it's definitely interesting. I'm gonna do a after take after this, so my general feelings and reactions will be in a slightly separate video, definitely shorter than this one. I will catch y'all on the flip. Stay hot, keep swinging.